Hello everyone, welcome to Sharmit. In this session, we are going to discuss about another important concept of computing, signal computing, that is eager computing. Okay, in our last session we discussed what is lazy computing, and this session we are going to talk about the eager computing because they both work oppositely to each other. Okay, but it is very important to understand both concepts because same thing can be asked in interviews as well as exams. So today we will discuss what is eager computing. We will create one example to demonstrate the concept of eager computing. But before we proceed further, I just like to recommend you to please go and check out the previously released sessions first because they all are in proper sequence and sync. So if you follow them sequentially, then it would be much more easier for you to understand the ongoing topic, because for timing we are just mainly focusing on how to use eager computing concept. So for that, let's go to the app.component.ts file. Here I will show you everything from scratch. So let me remove the imported things so that I can tell you what all files we need to import here. Fine, so let's save it. Alright, so now just start with the definition. So we will start with the definition. So eager computing is the computing where the computation is performed every time eagerly. Okay, but in case of lazy computing, it was computed only when it is needed. So that's the major difference between these two things, that it can compute the things rapidly, means eagerly, right? But in case of lazy computing, it is computing only when it is needed. Okay, so I think that definition wise you are okay and you got the point, like why it is needed for why this concept is needed, right? So now what we will do it practically and we'll see how it is impacting the things. So what we will do, we will create one computed signal. Even if we are not using it, still it will be invoked and process the things. How? Using effect method. So let's do it practically so that things would be more clear to us. So firstly what we will do, we will create here some signals, the needful signals. So for that you just simply go to your app.component.ts file in which we are right now, and here we will define the signal. So first signal I will define with the name counter and hold the value 0. So let's write everything with a comments, proper comments, so that you can take a notes of it. Okay, so here I will write a signal holding a number. Okay, then we will write here counter equal signal. So remember one thing, this should be imported here. So if I write if I click enter, you can see it is automatically imported, but in your case it is not imported, so make sure to import it because without this it won't work. Okay, so we have imported this thing. Now you can define the type, let's say number, and here we will assign the value as 0. Perfect. So this signal is ready. This is a writable signal. After that what we will do, we will add the computed signal. So let me put the comment here, a computed signal value, which is by default lazy. We know that, right? It is by default lazy in nature. If you are not using it, it won't work. So let me write it here. Typically lazy. Okay, after that what we will do, we will create the computed signal here. So let's give it a name double. Then we will write here computed. Same thing for computed, it should be imported. So I press enter, it is added. So make sure it is imported. If it is not, you should import it. Okay, then we will use here parenthesis again, arrow symbol, then curly braces, and then we will print the required thing. So we will print here console.log. Here we will print the message double recomputed. Okay, double recomputed, and then we will put here semicolon. Then we will return this thing. So return this dot counter parenthesis dot into 2. Okay, so this thing is added. Now after this, what we will do, we will firstly save it and make sure to put semicolon here, and after that we will make it eager. How? Now to make this eager computing, what we will do, we will add the constructor here. So we will add constructor. Inside this constructor we will use effect method. We all know how effect method work. So right here, because this thing we have already discussed, right? Here I will write const unused equal this dot double. So what it will do, it will store the double value into this unused variable. Const, not const, it should be const. Fine. Okay, so basically what we are doing here, we are making this signal eager. So let's write it, make computed eager using effect. Okay, so this thing is ready. Now after this, what we will do, we will simply add another function which will help us to increment the value. So we will write here increment, not like this, yeah, increment, and then inside this we will write this dot counter dot update, this dot counter dot update c plus 1 and save it. Okay, so we have added this thing. So we have, this is just a variable. Okay, so what it will do, it will increment the value and we will get the output. Clear? Now you can save it, and after a save, let's run the application. But before that, let's go to app.component.html file and define the required thing here, right? Because we want to declare some buttons and everything, right? So for that we will write here h2 for heading. Here I will write eager computed example. Okay, and then we will write here button. In button we will write click event, and click event we will write increment parenthesis, and then we will write here increment. This is just a button text. Okay, so write like this, and then we will print the value of the counter. So here I'll write counter curly braces, and here we will write the counter value. Perfect, but this is case sensitive. Okay, so make sure you put it in a same case, and this is a signal, so we will use the parenthesis. Perfect, but you can see here we are not using the double. So let me put it in a comment so that you will remember it later. Okay, so here we are not using double signal. Here we are not using double signal. Okay, we are not using it, right? But still you will see that here in this app.component.ts we are using this dot double, right? Means here you can see. So what we are doing here, we are printing this method double recomputed, even though we are not using it double in the screen, but still it will show you the incremented value. So let me run ng-serve -open, enter, and now you will see the magic that every time, even if you go inspect console, you will see double recomputed is already there. If you increment a value, it will add it again, double recomputed. For every single click you can see double recomputed is performed. So this is called eager computing. Even though we are not using it, still it is calculating it every time. Okay, but the by default nature of computing is lazy, because it will be called only when it is needed. But here you can see it is computing it eagerly. Clear? So yeah, that's all for today. I hope this particular session is clear to all of you, like how to use eager computing and lazy computing. In the next session we will try to understand a few different concepts, and if meanwhile if there is any particular question or queries from your end, please put it in a comment section so that I can try to help you in that. Okay, so yeah, that's all for today. I hope this session is clear to all of you. See you in the next session with new topics. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.